Hey, hey, hey. Okay. I think that we're live on YouTube and I'm very excited about this. Hey girl, hey. Let's just wait just a second as I'm double checking that everything is live and it looks like we are live. Okay, cancel this. All right, double checking, pressing record. Live, and it looks like we are. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, so today, we're going to talk about the 5 KPIs every entrepreneur needs to scale to 7 figures. Now, I'm sure that you know what a KPI is if you're watching this video, but just to go over what a KPI is, a KPI is a key performance indicator. And it's basically everything that I need to know where my business is at today in order to scale my business tomorrow, right? So, what are those things? And I know that you're probably thinking, oh, Jeanette, it's like, how many followers do I have? How much revenue I've got in my bank account. Those are KPIs, but not the ones that 7 figure business owners need to know in order to scale, right? So we're going to start thinking like a 7 figure business owner. Are those things important? Sure, they are. But what is really important? I'm going to tell you the real important things, right? Okay, so the number one thing, 1 out of 5, is your customer acquisition cost. How much does it cost to get a customer? How much does that cost in time, money, etc., right? So when I'm going to get a new customer, they have to know and like and trust me before they're going to spend money with me. So how much time does it cost? How much information do they need? What does that look like in order for me to measure how long it takes for a new customer to come in? I work on the back end of several 7 figure business owners, which is why I'm able to talk about these things. My business, specifically mine, is not 7 figures yet. So don't get it twisted. I'm not saying this is exactly what you need to do like everybody else, blah, blah, blah. I know the secret. I'm not saying that out of something that I don't know. I'm saying this because I have helped and worked with several 7 figure business owners, and this is what they do. Okay, so I want you to have that mindset, that 7 figure mindset. So, what does customer acquisition really mean? Okay, so let's say that somebody is getting your freebie. We're going to talk about funnels real quick. Let's say they get your freebie, they go to your webinar, they go to your low level offer, your membership, or whatever that looks like. How long does it take them to get your highest dollar offer? Or do they? There will always be people that have never been in your atmosphere, have never been in your orbit, and they're like, I want the $25,000 thing. That happens. I'm one of those people who buys $25,000 worth things because I know what I want. Okay. And I'm not talking about those people. I'm talking about the average person. The average person. How long does it take them to ascend your value ladder? How long does it take for them to go from I just met you to take my money? I want everything you know. Okay. What does that look like? What is that customer acquisition cost? So, how do you figure that out? How do you figure that out? You need to have these indicators throughout your business. At what point, when did they come in? What did they get? What's next? So you take your best customer and you reverse engineer of what does it look like? How did they come into your orbit? How long were they in there? What does that mean? So how long did it take for them to go from step 1 to loyal customer, raving fan? So I need you to think about what that is for you and your value ladder and what that looks like. So I want you to just think about that one person who's your best customer, and what was it for them? How long did it take for them to get there? And that is your customer acquisition cost. So now you have a mindset of, okay, it's going to take me this many months. Right now, on average, it is 6 months in the coaching industry for somebody to know, like, and trust you before they're willing to buy something with you. They might come to every single one of your free launches and never buy anything from you until they are ready. There are people I've seen people talking about people have been on their email list since 2021 and are finally ready to buy. That's not average, but there that's it's the other side of the average, right? There's the I just met you, I want to buy everything right now to I need to really know who you are before I'm willing to just get in bed with you, right? So I want you to think about what that looks like for your business. 6 months is about average. And cost depends. Are you spending ads? Like, what does that ad cost look like? Because when you're doing ads, this is a completely cold audience and they don't know you at all. So somebody from an organic audience is going to cost less than somebody, or a referral is going to cost less than somebody that is from a cold audience, like a lead magnet from an ad. So I want you to look at all three of those: cold, warm, and hot. And what does that look like? And how long does it take for them to buy something from you, or to become a client or a customer or a raving fan? Okay. And then that's number one. That's the first one. The second key performance indicator that you need to be concentrating on as a future seven-figure business owner is your lifetime value. What is the lifetime value of a client? So is your average client going to continue to re-enroll in your high level service, or are they going to enroll in something lower now? They got the big thing. Are they going to go lower on your ladder? Or is there a program that you have for just alumni? What does that look like? How do we continue to serve these people long term so that we can help them grow as we're growing? We can give them the new information that we're finding out. What does that look like? But we also need to know their lifetime value. And I don't want to treat them like that they are a number, but we need to understand that every person that comes into our atmosphere as a business client has a value associated with them. Some clients will never exceed a certain dollar amount based on that avatar, the person who they are. And some people will continue and continue and continue. But what is the lifetime value? What is the maximum lifetime value? Do you have a program that they can go into once they have established they've gone through your biggest level program? Do you have something for them? Is there something bigger, greater? This is something you need to be thinking about as you're building things out. Now, pause. When you are a six-figure business owner, you should not have more than 3 offers. You should really just have one core offer. But you should not have more than 3, because that gets confusing to them and then they don't have anywhere to go. So when you have one core offer, can they re-enroll in it again and again and again and continue to get help in that offer? Is this a continuous thing, or is this a ABC equals D and that's it? Right? I need you to be thinking about that. Okay. Also, when you think about your lifetime value, when a customer is done in a certain capacity, or they're like, I think that I'm done with this offer, how do you continue to help them? Right? How do you retain that client? How do you, how, what is the ads you need to spend on that? I'm going to give you an example, right? So Amy Porterfield is a famous marketer and she does very well. She sells a couple of programs, but she only has one flagship offer, and that is her digital course academy, right? She sells digital course academy into a membership. Okay. I was in her membership and now I'm not. She said during her last launch, she was sending me emails. She was launching to me her membership program. Hey, you were in this membership program. This is what's going on now. This is why you should continue to be in it. This is the offer right now. Come back, come back, come back. And it would cost her a lot less to try and sell me on something that I've already been in and to bring me back and to show me what's good there now than it is for her to find somebody who's never met her, take her through Digital Course Academy, and then sell her on the Momentum membership at the end, right? Like I said, she's got other programs, but that's her flagship. That's what she's trying to get everybody into. All of her other programs go into this. She's got it's like a organization program. Like, this is how you organize all your stuff when you create a course. This is how you get all your leads and build an email list for your course when you're launching your course. It's all about her course, to build a course. It's kind of meta. Okay. And then so that's number 2. Number 3 is profit margin. So what is your profit margin? You need to know if your business is making money. Are you operating in the red or in the black? There's a wonderful book. I forgot what his name is, but it's called Profit First. He also made the pumpkin farm, the pumpkin. Um, brain's not working very well right now because I wasn't going to talk about this, but it's coming up. So I want you to read this book if you have not. It's called Profit First. Profit First is about how to structure your business and not get all the new shiny tech, whatever, whatever, which is kind of hard for me. I'm a tech girly, so I'm like, what's the new phone coming out? And it's not the iPhone, I want the Android. What's the new Android coming out? It's got all the bells and whistles. Let's do it. What kind of camera does it got? What kind of, I need all the details. I need to be in the know. I need to know what, you want to see my phone right now? My phone right now has this giant crack in it. Okay, that just happened this weekend. So I've already been thinking about like, how do I get a new phone? Like, how do I get a new phone? But do I need a new phone? No, it works just fine. It's not even like covering my whole screen or anything. It's just like a little nick in the bottom. But my profit would go down if I'm constantly buying the newest, latest XYZ. If I'm constantly being shiny syndromed out, I can't do those things. What are the things that are actually moving the needle in my business? How do I get more of them? How do I double down on them? And the things that aren't need to go away, right? I need to stop spending money on those things. Is this actually affecting my business in a positive way or no? Right? So there's certain things that I am paying for. Let me just give you an example of one. Right now, I'm paying for Typeform. Typeform is $29 a month. It's not going to break the bank, but how many, this is what I need to look at constantly. How many people are using Typeform? Is it worth it for my business to continue using Typeform as a lead gen if it's not working? No, it's not. So I probably need to get rid of Typeform because it's affecting my profit margin, right? It's affecting my profit margin. It's not saying that it's a bad thing. It's not saying that I'm spending too much. I'm still making profit, but I can make more because I'm not using that. There's no reason to have these things if I'm not going to use them effectively. Okay, so this is all about financial health, and I want you guys to think about what your financial health is. And please, please, please read Profit First and put your money in the correct, they call them TAPs, target allocated percentages. So that way you can be making money and breeding innovation. You got to read the book, Profit First. Oh, and I've got a friend. Her name is Patrice. She is a financial wealth counselor and she will get you straight. Not me. I don't do that no more. But she can hook you up. Okay. Number 4, customer retention rate. Keeping your existing customers, like I was talking about, is easier than acquiring new ones. So go back to the Amy Porterfield story. This this is trying to keep my customers, right? I am already gone. I have already lost as a customer of hers, as a paying customer. I still have some for products, but I am no longer a customer that she can count on to pay her bills with. Nope, I am not. But it's easier to keep me happy than not. So a lot of times, like if we're like, well, I think I'm gonna cut this service or do this, then sometimes people will reach out to us, especially when you're like, let's say Active Campaign, and you're like, I want to cut my service to Active Campaign. And they're like, okay, are you willing to jump on a call with us? That's because they're trying to keep you. They might sell you into a lower thing. They're like, okay, why do you want to leave? Oh, it's too expensive. Okay, well, what if we cut your price in half for a year and you signed a contract for us for a year, for 2 years, and we cut your price in half? A lot of people are willing to say yes because it's easier to keep you as a customer, keep you paying less than it is have you keep you doing something else, right? So what does that look like? What is a satisfied customer look like if they're paying less? And that will actually lead to higher revenue and brand loyalty because now they're with you for at least another 2 years and they're like, oh, she's great. Like we had a miscommunication or we didn't get off on the right foot or we didn't do something like that. Whatever that issue is, you can solve by creating a lovely environment for people to be with. The number one thing that I say to help with customer retention is your first interaction with them as a client. What does that look like to walk them into your new program or whatever? Are you giving them the correct emails? Are you giving them a personalized X, Y, and Z? What does that look like? It needs to be like Disneyland. They just spent a lot of money with you, regardless of what that number is. They're making an investment in their life and in their business with you, right? They're investing in something that's bigger than what they might have done before, and or they're trusting you to serve them well. And so with that, what does that mean? That means you got to make them feel like this is Disney. All right, this is your next step. Here you go. This is this. Oh, am I going too fast? Let's slow down. Let's slow down. Here you go. This is exactly what you need. Oh, you're overwhelmed? Okay, let's take all this off your plate. Just do this one thing and it'll be perfect. You have to meet them where they're at too. You can't just over inundate them with information and make them feel like overwhelmed. They need to feel like this is Disney. They need to be their hand being held. They're having a lovely experience. They want to stay with you forever. And those are the experiences that they want to tell their friends about. Hey, I worked with Jeanette, and as soon as I gave her the thing, I got an email that said this. She sent me she sent me a personalized email. She sent me a personalized video. She reached out on voice memo. The contract was really clear. She reminded me that I need to book my calls. She seemed like she really wanted to help me. And when we were on the call, she listened to me. She told me that we are going to work on all the 15 things I want to work on, but she had a plan. She put it in paper. She sent it to me in email. I feel really comfortable about the money that I spent. I'm not having buyer's remorse and I'm ready to go to the next level. Right? Okay. And then number 5, after customer retention rate, is revenue growth rate. Okay. So we need to keep track of how quickly the revenue is increasing over time, right? We're constantly making offers, constantly making offers. What is hitting? What is not? What is actually making us money and what is not? I was talking to my friend Ali Messer. She was on the podcast. If you guys want to check that out. And she was actually very curious about and teaching other people what that actually looks like. What does it actually mean to be like having real revenue growth? So she was talking about one of her clients, and her client had two main offers. One was $18,000 and one was, I think, $10,000. The $18,000 product cost the business owner more, and she was actually making less money than the $15,000 product because of how much work she had to do. She was doing a lot of done for you stuff, and it wasn't worth her time to do the $18,000 program anymore and just do the $15,000 one. So what does that look like? How much are we actually growing our revenue? And is it scalable? Are we looking at long-term success? What does that look like? How can we like keep an eye on the things that are moving the needle in our business? And what does that look like for long-term scalability? Is it scalable long-term? So a lot of things that we put in place when we're building our business to 6 figures are no longer scalable at a 7-figure margin. They're just not. There's too much influx, there's too many people, there's too many things happening that we can't keep track of all the little things. I was listening to a podcast the other day and they were talking about um, inflation. So they're talking about inflation and how back in the, I don't know, thousands, the year 1000, that the British monarchy knew how to continue to print money or not print money. And how that's basically inflation. Inflation is printing more money to stay with how things are going out in the economy, right? And so how they do it now is they are constantly looking at how much things cost, how much money's in rotation, and printing more money based on that, right? I don't know how they're gonna do it now that everything's digital, but that's not my zone of genius. But they were saying that the banks, the central bank in the UK, you were allowed to go in there and trade your dollars for coins, like actual like silver and gold, because it was backed by silver and gold back then. So when people came in and started depositing their silver and gold to get more dollars, they would know that it's time to stop printing money because there's a lot of money in there. So they'd slow down on the printing. But as soon as people were turning in their gold for more dollars, they wanted more dollars, they knew they had to print more money. So that's how they the economy stayed, because they were just paying attention to what people are doing, right? So we need to pay attention to what our business is doing time after time after time. And it's essential for us to just keep track of how much money we're making. This is like long-term scalability and what we actually need to do. How can we make things simpler in our business and not over inundated? Do we actually need all the spreadsheets that we have? What are we doing with that information? Is it helpful or is it just harmful? Is it just extra stuff that we're making our clients, our team members and our contractors do? The more money you make, the simpler and streamlined your business needs to be because you need to look at things in a big scale and not in the minutia. I don't need to know what every single person is, but I need to know the trends that's happening, right? I need to know the trends. I, as the CEO and the business owner, cannot know all of that teeny tiny detail. Does somebody on my team? Maybe. I need to know the big picture because I can make decisions from a big picture. I can't make decisions from looking at every single blade of grass. I can't. Because if I'm looking at one blade of grass and it's broken, but the entire field is plush and growing, and I'm focused on this one, then I think my entire meadow is broken. And that's not the truth. Sometimes you just gotta pluck out that little blade of grass and keep it moving. Okay, so these 5 KPIs, I'm going to go through what they are again. Customer acquisition cost, lifetime value, profit margin, customer retention rate, and revenue growth rate. How fast are we growing? And is it sustainable? Are things that we need to track in order to really make a difference in what our business is going to do in the long term. We need to be stop thinking about the ones and the zeros and start thinking about the bigger picture. We can't think about every single puzzle piece, but we got to look at the big picture. Do we need to put all the pieces in the puzzle? Yes, we do. But we're not looking at each individual piece in order to examine it. We're looking at each individual piece because that's where it needs to go in the puzzle. Does that make sense? Okay. So I am so glad you were with me today. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out. And yeah, talk to you guys soon.